Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Geekcaster. I'm Seven. We've got Dayveonne and Andrew. How you guys doing?
What's up? How's it going? Good. Yourselves?
Good.
Awesome.
So, it's been an interesting week. So I saw See No Evil, and I actually liked it. I was a little nervous to see it. Well, I was a little nervous to see it just because, we've seen. Let's say I want to make sure I get all the names correct there. What was it in Split? We saw the lead actor also in the movie Split, where he played a person with different personalities. There we go. What was? Just want to make sure I got his name correctly.
James McAvoy.
Yes, and I'm going to see if I can get the whole cast here. See No Evil. Let's see. And it was interesting because as soon as I brought it up to Drew, you said you've seen this movie before.
Well, I think a version of it.
Okay.
There's it's either a Danish or a Swedish film. Came out in 2022. It goes by the same name, Speak No Evil.
Okay.
And what I remember of it, the plot's about the same. A married couple meets up with another couple. They both have kids. As they hang out, they start to notice that the couple, the man particularly, is just like a little off. And he says one thing, but he'll end up doing like the opposite. Puts him in weird situations. He's just socially kind of not there. And then things kind of downward spiral. I think it's the same film. We can double check it right now.
Yeah, it's the same film. It's just this is the American version. The other one was the Swedish version.
Right. I think it was one of those cases where it's like it came out earlier, and then someone at around the same time was like, "Hey, let's make an American version of that one, and we'll pitch it as the same name."
Yeah.
So,
Oh wow.
Interesting coincidence. I didn't even know that until I saw I'm like, have I seen this one? I'm like, no, that was the other joint, which was like all in whatever language it was in.
That's just like what they do with a lot of film, like what they was doing with different films that were done in other countries. Like, remember the movie Record?
Iraq. There was the other one that we got, which was Quarantine. That was the crappy American version. There was the other one that was the vampire joint called Let the Right One In, again, whatever language it was originally. And then there was Let Me In, which had Hit Girl as the vampire chick in it. So it happens. And there's The Grudge, American versus the Japanese one. So,
yeah.
Do you think that this is just an ongoing trend that will keep going? Because even when they did Shameless as an American show, that's actually a British show originally.
Yeah, we've been doing this for years.
It's just that we was doing this like Andrew said for years. What it is, and I hate saying this. America do not like, matter of fact, Hollywood do not like pulling the trigger on new content.
Yeah, Hollywood sticks to what they think will garner like profits. They go with what they think works. That's why every year we get X amount of cop dramas, we get X amount of hospital dramas, we get X amount of procedurals and all that stuff because they know that there's a baked-in audience for that.
Okay.
That's why it's the same crap over and over again. But it's like they pick a set of a number of things that they think work, and then that's what gets put out. That's what gets churned out.
And it just get annoying sometimes because it's like, come on, there's other contents that's out here that's people developing that is great, but you're not giving them the green light. You're not giving people a chance.
Then they're hesitant to do anything that'll be change is scary. If you're like a multi-billion dollar like production company, you typically want to err on what's going to guarantee a profit, or at least close to a guarantee.
Well, I would say Mackenzie Davis, she did a great job. She definitely did a standout job. Let's see, Scoot McNairy. He did a great job. I just find like, as far as the parents, and the kids were great too. I mean, I would say casting wise was really good.
Yeah.
I have no problem with the casting. I think the direction was great, the editing, the pacing. It's one of those films where it's a ride, and you just feel it's more about between the directing and the editing. It was more about the intensity, the pressure that built up with the script, and you know something's going to happen, but when is it going to happen? You know it feels eerie, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And I think they did a really good job for what was there. And we talked about other films where the pacing helped, but the writing wasn't there, or the acting was okay. This was pretty solid for what it was worth.
I really have to say, the little boy that had his tongue cut off. Sorry, spoilers. Mm-hmm. Well, it should have been, because if you saw the trailer,
yeah, it was in the trailer.
It was in the trailer.
He did a phenomenal job. I think he was the more standout compared to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people that I know who've seen it, they say that the kid stuck out. He was like their favorite.
Yeah. The kids actually grounded the film. Like if it was just the adults, even though the story would not have, you needed the kids to really tell the story the way that they want to tell it, and to really be invested of how criminal everything that's going on there. So anyway,
I mean, he kind of is in a way the focal point of the film. Speak no evil, and he's the one that got his tongue cut out. So it's like, it's kind of technically about him as well as the film.
Right. And he also, I won't give this away, but I would say there are parts of the film, and I would just say climax, he's very important. Because I think it's one of those films where it's not worth spoiling for people. I would definitely say, because there's not that much there. If you really, it's one of...
You kind of, know what you're getting into. The trailer gives you almost too much, but it gives you enough to where you actually want to go see the all things play out. You want to go see the drama play out.
Right. It was definitely a play out film.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty good, and it was good paying money, and you didn't feel upset. Like, what happened here? Like the last film we talked about.
Yeah.
I tried to support, and it was like, what was this about? So I want to switch gears a little bit. I saw this thing on Instagram with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He was a young kid on, Home Improvement?
Yeah.
And how he just left the industry, super successful show, made a bunch of money on the cover of every little kid preteen and teen magazine, and he was like, I'm done with the industry. And earlier on this week, there was a bunch of things of like black sitcoms and all these kids and where they are now. Are you guys surprised of how many just said, I'm done with the industry? Or would you be surprised at how many of them still trying to be famous again and just like, whoa, just let it go?
Neither are really surprising. It's the idea that you have these kids, this is their career from the time that they're children. Okay. Right? And at this point, the tales about how Hollywood and fame messes kids up is like it's almost a cliche at this point. We know that it messes kids up in most cases. Right. I think one of the few to walk away unscathed, there are not nearly as many as the ones that crash out. But like Hillary Duff, she managed to stay like relatively sane and kind of fine over the years. So it's like, all right, it can happen. But then you've got old boy from, what was the other one? You have for every like Hillary Duff, you have like a dozen of that just like break bad, and they just crash out. So it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I don't have because sorry. No, but I agree with Andrew on that part, because it's like like we grew up in knowing these kids. Remember Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah.
Child star. Then all of a sudden, he fell off. He had his own issues, drug addiction, everything.
Did
he? Yeah.
Yeah, that's he had. I'm pretty sure he had drug issues. That was a common thing. Like in the '80s, there was the Haim, Corey Haim, and the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, Corey Feldman. Yeah.
Yeah, just Corey Feldman. Yeah, they were doing all kinds of. They were just doing weird stuff to these kids. It's just it's got a real bad. Hollywood has a real bad track record with the mental and health and well-being of many of its young actors. Not always, but there's a bad sense of it happening. It happens uncomfortably often.
And also, it all depends on who their manager is, who they're hanging around with, it's all those details where.
You're thinking about that, Dayveonne?
What?
In a lot of instances, it's the parents.
Yeah.
And
No, because I'm
I've
saying
seen a lot of times it's the parents that are managing the kids, and they're the reason why the kids messed up.
And I have to agree with you on that, because it's like you think it's Hollywood itself, but no, it's the parents and their evil intent. Like, some of the parents be upset or a little bit jealous of their kids because of the fact that they're famous, they have more shine than them, so they decide to be their manager, and they trying to live their life onto their kids.
Yeah, they'll vicariously try to get that fame through their kids, and in doing so, they feed their kid to that thresher that is the Hollywood machine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh gosh, man. It's a again. It's not every time, but it happens a lot.
It happens majority of the time.
It happens a lot. So,
while naturally we all want to be in the entertainment industry, we want to be famous, but when it comes down to it, like, let's say we had kids, that's only if they want to do it. But if they don't, look.
If I had a kid, because I did like some child acting when I was little. I vaguely remember it, but it's like, if you have a taste for that type of thing, and if you like doing it, go ahead. That may be your calling. Don't make it like, okay, I think it's kind of transitioned from kids that want to be Hollywood famous. You have that crop, but you also have what we discussed before, the crop of kids that want to be YouTubers and VTubers and all the Uberisms.
It has changed. The world has changed now.
It's changed. You ask a lot of kids nowadays what they want to be when they grow up. We used to say Batman, and they say YouTuber. Your odds are just about being able to do it as a career. Your odds of being Batman and a famous YouTuber are about the same, Right. And Batman might be more doable, but
right. You have control of that one. You could just put on a cape and run around the street.
You can at least get halfway with the cape and cowl, right? So it's like, all right.
I actually did it. Maybe stop. No. Well, Michael know the story, but
with the where you were Red Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ran the streets and saved somebody. I think you actually.
No, not somebody. I saved like 5 people.
Yeah.
Like one of those. That guy in real life who was running around as a vigilante. He actually got brought up on drug charges, I think. So I wasn't going to make a comparison, but that's a bad look.
Mine happened to me on Halloween day, and I just wound up wearing the costume on Halloween, and it was a major car accident. Car on top of one person.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Yeesh. And no one had any questions? Who's that man in the mask? Nobody said that?
I had to take the mask off to do
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Here, did he do this? Bring him here, please. No taste.
Yeah. So, random foodcaster moment. Transition here. Random transition. Watermelon. You know, people would have that whole trope of black people loving watermelon and blah, blah, blah. But to tell you how intelligent the slaves were that did eat the watermelon that people didn't want, did you know that watermelon helps your blood and it lowers your blood pressure?
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. I've never been a big watermelon guy, but yeah.
And then it's high water content, it's like 92%.
It's kind of on the tin. It's in the name, so I hope so.
Yeah, boosts your immune system, strengthens bones, produces energy, cleans your kidneys, and fights cancer.
Wow.
It's not a bad set of things. I mean, folks don't do. But
I'm just going to say this. For those that be like, oh, look at Chuck and John eating that watermelon. Guess what? Keep eating that watermelon.
Smart.
Because you're going to live longer.
Basically. So that was just the moment. Just to let people know that.
One of those the more you know type of situation.
The more you know.
Nice.
Ding, ding, ding. All right, so you saw the trailer, Dayveonne, for John Wick Ballerina?
Yeah.
That's correct?
Correct.
What do we have in store for the next installment of John Wick?
I would say this prequel is pretty much better than the Continental. I'm more excited with this series, this prequel of the film, because of the fact that, not because, there's a female protagonist. No, it's the product itself, the advertisement, the way they set things up in a way in this film.
It's a prequel?
Yes, not a prequel. What you call it?
Continuation?
Not continuation, the side story.
Okay.
So I apologize to the audience. I said prequel. I meant side story. So it pretty much talks about another character. Has nothing to do with John Wick, but John Wick do make an appearance, and it's in the trailer.
Okay. Well, they did an interesting setup for that whole section of the John Wick verse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I think it was in number 2 when you see the ballerinas for the first time.
Right.
And he goes and has the scene where the lady calls him Giordano, and you see the one girl after that she'd been doing, like, I guess the routine.
Mm-hmm.
They're backstage, and you see that grody moment where she has to pull the dead nail off of her.
Yeah.
And it makes you realize, oh, wait, this is also a training facility for the assassins in this world. So you're going to then have, like, the female division or whatever, like the female assassins.
Right.
Where they could specialize in whatever gun kata, I guess. Yeah, that would be like the gun kata type of style.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you mix like those graceful pirouettes and all that crap.
Right.
It could be fun. I have an original character that's similar to that, so I'm kind of like, ooh, let me check out and see if there's any good notes that I could take from this joint. But so far, the consensus is people are more excited in this than they are the Continental.
Yeah.
I have to see for myself. I haven't watched the Continental yet, but people said 1, cash grab, 2, it was I.
Okay.
I think Ian McShane, one of the actors, was like, "Oh, it was a cash grab." I'm like, okay, even the actors are admitting it. So,
Right.
We'll
Did anybody watch it?
Yeah, people watched it.
People watched it. I haven't myself yet. I'll get around to it. It's on the list. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But so far, the reviews were good to meh-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that Mel Gibson is in it too probably had something to do with it as well, because people kind of don't want to touch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that one of the first major things he's been in ages since Hollywood is soft shoe. They let him basically in through the back door, I guess.
Gotcha.
And he's been acting in things, so that might be why, if you're not hearing as much buzz about the Continental, that might be why. Or have something to do with it.
Now, why are people still angry with Mel Gibson? This goes back to the Passion of Christ?
Well,
Yeah.
pick one, man. He's kind of just, he's there was the time where he went off on certain ethnic groups of people over the Passion of Christ. There's the time where he was caught on phone or on, like, whatever he was talking to, was his ex-wife, crazy. And he was talking expletives about everyone. So he was on the
everybody.
The footage is out there, him freaking out, calling people, as I guess the clean version would be, he was assailing his wife with the threat of her getting assaulted by certain people of color under a very interesting, colorful term and a set of names.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll put it that way. That's for PG-13.
Hey, come on, Mel. I was riding with you too.
Yeah, he went quiet for quite a few years, and he's shown up in little indie movies, little productions here and there, more indie related stuff. But now he was in the Continental, and that might have something to do with why folks weren't as yappy about this one.
Gotcha.
But I'll see for myself.
Well, kiddies, this is a good time to say alcohol is not good. Well, not good if you abuse it.
It has its balance, but we don't recommend you to drink until you're 21.
Yeah, do what you're gonna do, but again, it's I'd say it's less the alcohol and more a jackass getting a hold of the alcohol is definitely a volatile combination.
That is not a winning combination.
Yeah.
It's like
So
choose your poison wisely.
Choose your words, choose your poisons wisely.
So well, you know what? Because we're in this time where people can film movies on their phone. I mean, that's extreme, not the best thing to do, but whatever. There's a lot of independent stars. Pardon?
No, you got, like, I think there was a film that was made, like a feature-length film that was made just on their iPhones.
There's 2.
I'll find out what movie that was.
There's one that won a Oscar nomination.
What movie was that?
Orange.
Orange? It's called Orange?
I think Orange or something Orange.
So yeah, literally, it's like we're in a place where if you want to make a film, you can just do it. You can just pick up your phone and literally do it.
Exactly.
So I bring that up only because there's so many people that were famous before, right? They have some sort of recognition, as far as famous kids and stuff like that, that want to reignite. In fact, a lot of independent films with these kids now older exists out there. Because again, it's one of those things. Well, no one wants to cast you. You're not cute anymore. You're done for whatever reason. Whatever happened behind closed doors in Hollywood, or for whatever reason they just don't feel that they're interesting. A lot of them are in stuff and doing things. It's just we're not hearing about it. Would your advice for these used to be famous kids to produce their own stuff and just put it out there, or start auditioning and go the traditional route to get it again, get famous again, or do things again?
I say produce your own stuff, because the way things are looking right now in Hollywood, you better off just doing your own stuff, and maybe some production companies will look at it. Look at what happened with The Terrifier. Look at what happened with some of the other independent films. They're starting to get the recognition that they deserve just by being consistent. It's all about consistency and also knowing somebody. If you know the right people and they see your progress and see your potential, they give you the opportunity. You just got to take it and run with it. It's just nowadays, it's like they're scared because certain things are outshining the bigger stars. Like, look at it, like how certain stars that used to be being in different films constantly, that draws a lot of people away from the films and all that other stuff. That's why a lot of people prefer going on streaming and stuff, because you keep recycling the same people. It's like, oh, there goes such and such again in this film. Here he goes again, or there she goes again. You're always giving the same people the opportunity, but nobody knew. And here's another thing, and I hate saying this, y'all always casting people outside of the U.S. and never giving the people in the U.S. opportunities, which is a slap in the face, because there are some pretty good actors that's in the U.S. that deserve the recognition and deserve to be out there in the forefront of being the next big thing. But nobody's willing to give or pull the trigger on them.
What do you think, Drew?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying child actors that have been in the industry, I'm sure they know a lot more about it than you, I, or Seven do. But I will say that, like, if they are, like, I'm thinking Haley Joel Osment was just recently in that other movie, the Don't Blink rap. So it's like they come up again from time to time, but it usually will be in, like, kind of these more indie, like, the independent circuit. I'll say if they have a passion for it, because some of these kids may not want, when I say kids, they're adults now, but, like, some of these, like, used to be child actors, they may want nothing to do with the industry whatsoever. Right. So if that were under that circumstance, it'd be like, do your own thing. If it's just writing, if it's just producing, knock yourself out. If you're interested in it, go ahead. Right. But I think, as to Dayveonne's point about there being kind of this quasi-incestuous just pit of just samey people that they just dip into again and again and again, I would say the child actors, knowing an eye for talent and knowing how the industry works, make your own stuff, but make it something that's aimed to be, like, not adjacent to the herd. Whatever's going to be the next popular thing, start making that without any mind of what's currently the thing, what's popular. Trying to dip into that same crop versus making what will be the next big crop. Yeah. I would think that the younger actors have more of an eye for that sort of thing than the old farts and the Weinsteins running around in the industry. Yeah. It's like, you guys are going to be that next guard. As this older generation starts to die off, and they are, I hate to be grim, but it's like you have lots of older actors and producers and people in the industry dying off now and pretty crazy high numbers. So it's like the opportunities that could lie in with, issuing in that next generation, the experience could help.
Right.
So I would say if they want it, go for it. And keep an eye open for me, because I got scripts and I got ideas and stuff like that we can get out there.
And also keep an eye on me.
Shameless self-promotion. Shameless self-promotion.
Wait. Since you want to self-promote.
Yeah, there we go. Go ahead.
My choreographer right here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been saying it long ago.
Oh, God.
Action fight
How's your
choreographer
voice?
actor.
You got stuffs.
I'm not doing it. I'll let you guys have that one. I'm not doing it. But yeah, no, definitely. I like the idea of thinking of their experience and their eye. You know, when you look at like a Ron Howard, I really feel that he's a good director because he's a good actor. He knows what it is to deliver, and he knows the other side of it. I think to be a really good director, you have to have an idea of cinematography, and really have a strong connection with the acting part of it. And you don't have to, but I think it would make a difference. You see the difference.
Yeah. Either be good at it yourself or align yourself with people that you know for a fact are tailored for that field.
Right.
Facts.
And actually, because we're probably going to end soon, I would like to start out the next episode with that. I mean, I've seen clips of Tarantino talk about how, like, you don't need to know anything about cameras, anything about to be a director. And you really don't. You just need to hire really good people that are really good at what they do.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there is a difference if you are. You know, it's kind of like, you know, you don't need to know how to put down cement to be an architect, but if you know how the material works, and if you know the little bits, you're gonna design differently. It's just there's going to be a difference with that. So yeah, that'd be great to start that there. So do you guys have any social media you want to put out before we end this episode and we just go into the next one?
Well, I'll just start off, like, if you want to reach out to me, kick rocks, Michael, I could care less about you. But you can hit me up on Instagram, Dayveonne_Bussy. Just Dayveonne_Bussy on Instagram. If you want to hit me up on Facebook, it's Dayveonne Bussy. Just like you see at the bottom right there, Dayveonne Bussy. Yeah. Hit me up.
Drew?
I mean, I have social media, but y'all don't need to know it. When I do have something that's more social media based, I'll let you guys know.
That sounds good. Geekcaster, geekcaster.com. Thank you so much for your support. Leave messages, comments. If you're watching us on cable, thank you so much. Please support. Hey, write letters to your cable company. Say, we want more of this. We're so blessed that we have a better time. Our times are like prime, which is great this season. So you could go to the website and you'll see all that. If you're watching us on IG, thank you for watching. Please like, share. We've been doing this for a while. We were never on the bandwagon. We were always ahead. We were the first ones to really talk about geek rather than the whole nerd thing. And we appreciate everyone riding with that. People are changing their wording and now going more geek. But hey, we were at the forefront of that. So really appreciate everyone that supported us with that. And then we're out. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Cue music. There you go.